Greetings of the day, fellow viewers. We, students of Amritapuri MBA batch 2020-2022, Team 2, would like to present before you this video on psychographics. So first of all, we'll discuss about what is psychographics. Psychographics is the study of consumer based on their activities, interests and opinions. It goes beyond identifying persons on their basis of generic population characteristics like age, sex, or race. Psychography aims at understanding cognitive aspects driving consumer behavior. This comprises emotional responses, ethical principles, political values, and natural attitudes. This includes emotional elements too. The collection of analysis of information allows marketers, advertisers and researchers to develop extensive psychographic profiles of part of the public, which are then used to create messages relevant for those segments. This is useful for marketers and advertisers because there are often considerable differences between people even within clearly defined demographic groups. Just because two people are of same age and have similar annual salary does not entail, for example, that they share identical political or personal values. A psychographic profile, in contrast, provides information about the interests, activities, triggering, emotions, and choices for a person's lifestyle. This may help you to see why someone could buy a particular product, support a particular cause, what somehow, and much more. Psychographic profiling is a phrase marketers know about. This is used by companies to segment their customers, which also helps them to personalize their products to their demands. It also processes which channel the product can be used to distribute and publicize. HR can use psychographic profiling to adjust its programs in terms of employee health and learning and development activities, with people segmented by their values, interests, hobbies, principles and preferences. HR teaches about the motivators, psychographic profiles which inspire people to act. The motivators of their behaviors are defined by the values, interests, hobbies, ideals and preferences. This can aid employees in their sector and get to know the true motivators of individuals and groups. Although many firms utilize demographics to categorize their personnel, they now collect essential data for their psychographic profiling with advances in technology. Long questionnaires are not used in the data collection for psychographic profiling. Essay writing exams and hypothetical circumstances are conducted for individuals which collect psychographic profiling data. So now let us see a company which uses psychographic segmentation. Nike also uses psychographic segmentation to target individuals with specific lifestyles and personalities. To use this variable effectively, Nike must target individual who enjoys sports, whether it is playing, watching or simply talking about sports. These activities shape personalities and lifestyles. Nike's marketing efforts are targeted at creating a feeling that transcends the product. Nike fosters an attitude, it develops a lifestyle. Events such as Nike Run With Me, sports improvement clinics, social media contents, and athletic and non-athletic endorsements go along to create community and feeling of belonging to the Nike family. So now I invite David to talk about the uses of psychographics.
So I'm David and next I'll be talking about the uses of psychographics in human resource functions. Psychographic segmentation has been used in marketing research as a form of market segmentation, which divides consumers into subgroups based on shared psychological characteristics including subconscious or conscious beliefs, motivations and priorities to explain and predict consumer behavior. When we further look into psychographic segmentation, we understand that the markets are generally classified into four segmentation, being demographic, psychographic, geographical, and behavior. These are the various examples of how a business can segment their markets by gender, age, style, and lifestyle. Further elaborating on the psychographic segmentation, we'll understand how psychographic segmentation takes key focuses on customer personalities and interests. Here we might look at customer and define them by their personality traits, the hobbies they pursue, life goals that they have, the values they believe in, their own beliefs, and the lifestyle that they choose to live. Compared to demographic segmentation, this is a harder set to identify, and good research is required in a vital standard to move forward with the same. Psychographic segmentation can also help us allow for incredible effective marketing that consumers will feel speak to them, and once more we can connect to people on a personal level. One of the key examples we can take into consideration is the luxury resort business, Omni Hotels and Resorts, where they are aware that they are a big sector and the target audience was wide. Yet by understanding the psychographic behavior of the customers that they have, they were able to achieve a 37% conversion rate uplift. That is, they were able to convert potential walk-in guests by over a percentage of 39 when they walked in, just because they were able to understand the psychography of the walk-in customers and cater to their needs. Psychographic segmentation capitalizes on this by dividing customers based on psychological factors. These factors thus involve behavior, personalities, lifestyles, and beliefs. These factors are then analyzed to predict how the customer will respond to focused campaigning marketing. Psychographic segmentation also helps us identify the various psychological differences between purchasers, enabling market to create granular consumer profiles that highlight the various priorities and motives behind their buying. Psychographic characteristics are important because they provide a much narrower targeted view of the customer or consumer. Psychographics move the businesses closer to the right customer and consumer who are likely to buy their own products and services. One of the key other uses of psychographics is psychographic profiling. Psychographic profiling helps us where people are segmented according to their values, interests, hobbies, principles, and their preferences, and can be used by HRs to tailor their programs related to employee health and their learning and development initiatives. One can use psychographic data for employment development. The usefulness of psychographic data doesn't end once a hire is made. Not only does hiring top talent require more effort in today's economy, but retaining employees can also be more difficult. When companies finally do fill in a position, they want to get the most of the candidate when an employee joins the organization, and they want these employees to be with the company for as long as possible. Psychographic data can also help with employee development by revealing the motivation that the employees can use to help their employer. It's not just about pushing hard or manipulating employees into working harder. These tactics are likely to have an adverse or opposite effect rather than what was intended. Instead, psychographic data can help companies make work easier and more enjoyable for their employees. Psychographic data also takes a key place in talent optimization. While there can be many elements to an employee psychographic profile, experts have broken down several profile types that inform different types of working behavior. Knowing into which category each of your employee falls could help you make decisions about how to develop the talent, to reward their efforts, and also get them to do the best for you. Some of your employees will be fulfillment seekers. They want to make a difference in people's life or even change the world. More money won't be much of a motivation for them to stay in your company. However, offer them a position of significance within the company where they can see the difference they make would help them to stay loyal to the company. High achievers will also see their position as a career rather than a job. They may have the highest of salaries and consider them a sign that they are achieving their goal. But their true motivation is the thrill of acknowledgement. However, they may be defined for them. If you have an employee that are risk takers, it will be harder to hold on to them because they are always looking for the next great thing. Your best chance for retaining them of risk takers is to provide as much risk as you can within their position. We can offer them stock options, challenge their sales quotas, or even provide them opportunities to get involved in the expansion and acquisition of new businesses. This may help risk takers to get their needs of taking risk and be loyal to the company rather than changing their jobs frequently. Ladder climbers can be classified as those who want to advance within the company and will probably only change jobs if they can't advance within the existing company structure. Finding leadership opportunities in between advancements will probably keep the ladder climbers the happiest. One should always keep in mind that these designations are only a part of psychographic profile and that the psychographic profiles are actually real complex in nature. One aspect of someone's behavior will never provide us enough data to determine a course of action with regards to recruiting and hiring. Robust talent personas must be carefully built to identify the best way to reach candidates and employees for each position. Assessments can also be used to segment psychographic profiles in the most objective way possible. Subjective evaluation are prone to biases that can be largely avoided by using assessment that identify psychographic data which can be used to create talent persona. First of the most important sub-aspect is behavior-based segmentation, especially we can use this for team building according to region. Segmenting prospects based on psychographic data will help us improve our targeting and also better understand the person more than the statistics that lies behind it. Possible employees or team members are not just numbers anymore. They are actual people who have a specific desire. We can segment them on the basis of following sub-factors. Being the biggest challenge that they face right now, their pain points and struggles, their personal goals, hopes and dreams, the specific lifestyle choices that they make, and their interactions on a company website. Once you segmented these prospects on their attributes, then we can classify them into the pool of candidates that we require. The second major use we can use is we can personalize psychographic segment profiling for outreaching of mass hiring. When we understand the person behind the screen and what they want, we can then create messages that might appeal more pleasing to them and make them seek out to apply for a job. This will also help us increase the job conversion rate in terms of recruitment. Various sub-aspects we can take into consideration while doing this personalization for reaching out to the masses is we can personalize emails, especially when the recruitment cycle is in place. We can provide them the information of the various stages that is going to take place. We can help them solve a pain point that they're in right now, and we can also help them find the job best fit for them and the various specifications that are required to qualify for those jobs. When we have a detailed psychographic data on a customer, on a possible employee, we'll know the right platforms where we can use them, the right words that would create an impact, and also we can avoid pitch triggers and negotiations while the employee applies for the job. The third best advantage that we have using psychographic profiling is that it can help us qualify by recruiting more qualified candidates. Rather than searching in the dark or waiting for employee-generated leads, we can just psychographically segment data and analyze data and then use that data for hiring people who are better fit for our job based on the psychographic profiling of them. By sharing what we learn from our prospects and behavior, we can then provide the HR team with a better context of what is going on, and then they can take the conversation forward. Last but not the least, we can use psychographic profiling for retaining employees. Relationships don't end just after the ending of an interview. By speaking to the existing employee and the prospective employees who applied for various positions, we can understand their needs and the potential and maybe even retain them, and also look forward to hire them if later they get a vacancy in the company to do so. Tracking the psychographic data of these people can also help understand the loyalty of current employees in the organization and their desire to work well within the company. That is all from my behalf. Now I'd like to invite Kirtana to explain the rest of the uses of psychographic. Thank you.
There is no doubt that professional skills are important to identify a potential and valuable candidate for our team. However, professional skills alone aren't enough to identify top talents, and experts claim that personal skills are equally important. Resumes may include inaccuracies, and it can also include lies. And the achievements and work experience of a person is giving little insight about the character of the person. So the job market is adopting a new hiring model which pays more attention to psychological attributes. This move allows the recruiter to go beyond the formal characteristics, and of course it isn't feasible to conduct a deep psychological test each time while conducting an interview, but there are ways to learn more about a potential hire. Psychographics in recruitment is one technique which is revolutionizing marketing, and soon it's going to revolutionize hiring. In human resources, psychographic profiling tells about the motivators which stimulates a person to act in a particular way. It is dependent upon the values, interests, their principles, preferences and hobbies of the individual which define the motivators of their actions. And this can help to segment the employees and get to know the real motivators for different groups and individuals. This can be used by human resources to tailor their programs related to employee health and L&D initiatives. Even though many companies use demographics to segment their employees, with the advancement of technology, they have begun to use vital data required for psychographic profiling. During the recruitment process, to get to know the candidates better, the data for the same is collected through conversations, asking about different questions and diving deep into the behavioral patterns of the candidates. In addition, the data pertaining to the employees is also collected through HRMS platforms, and the HR programs are tailored accordingly. For psychographic profiling, the long questionnaires are not used for collecting data. Instead, they are given essay writing test and the hypothetical situations from which data for psychographic profiling is collected. It has been proved very useful in identifying the gaps in the competency levels of the employees and also in the training requirements. It also helps them to gauge whether employees aspire to grow as well as their future development needs, for which an individual development program is created. Companies can collect data through real-time, structured and continuous feedback. The collected data helps them to draw trends and make major adjustments in their HR processes and initiatives. This makes the initiatives and offerings relevant and engaging for each group. It has helped them to remove the bias, bring in transparency, and also find a scientific basis for all of the actions. And if collected ethically, the data can be definitely used by human resources for the betterment of not just the employees but the organization as a whole. So the next part will be discussed by Srihari. Thank you.
Thank you, Kirtana. As we know, psychographic surveys are used to study and classify people according to psychological criteria like their attitudes, aspirations, values, lifestyle, and personality. Here, we are discussing about various methods of psychographic assessment. The first one is traditional focus groups or interviews. A traditional focus group involves a small group of people coming together at a location to share needs, preference, opinions, and experience about a specific product or service. The facilitator of the discussion, called the moderator or the researcher, leads the discussion. We can use these methods through online also. At that time, participants are able to still see each other through the webcams by using several online platforms like Zoom, Google Meet, etc. This leads to a richer discussion than through a phone line conversation alone. Online focus groups often costless, which means there are no travel costs or focus group facility rental costs, and it is the apt method that we can use in this pandemic situation. The second one is surveys, questionnaire, and quizzes. A survey is a research method used for collecting data from a predefined group of respondents to gain information and insights into various topics of interest. They have multiple purposes, and researchers can conduct it in many ways depending on the methodology chosen and the study goal. Here, we can use several methods of survey data collection such as in-person interviews, telephonic interviews, mailed questionnaires, online questionnaires, etc. Telephone interviews is a research method where the researcher surveys respondents over the telephone. Mailed questionnaires, which is a form of questionnaires which is mailed to targeted individuals, which has a collection of questions on a particular topic asked to them as a part of interview or survey which is used for conducting research on a particular topic. Online questionnaires, which is a tool that allows us to get feedback about a product or service or collect data for research by using Google Forms and other similar applications. Create questionnaires the way we want using a survey software and achieve greater reach by quickly sending them to our target audience. Here, I would like to share one of my experience related with this topic. It was during the time of my summer internship project at Nirapara Roller Floor Mill Private Limited, Changanasheri, Kottayam district. It was in marketing. The topic of the study or project was a study about the brand value and customer perception at the company. And the main objective of the topic was to find out what are the factors influencing customers to buy Nirapara products and customer satisfaction after conducting a survey. For this, I used this online survey method to take responses from the consumers. As per the company's instruction, I collected more than 100 responses from the customers, and after analyzing those responses, I found what are the main factors influencing customers to buy the Nirapara products, and what are the factors leads to the customer satisfaction by using Nirapara products. That was a great experience to me. Next, I invite Archana BS to continue with this topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Srihari. So now we'll continue with the topic, that is methods of psychometric assessment in human, and the point we are going to discuss now is personality trait test. While there is no dearth of personality tests in the market today, so many psychometricians believe that the type-based approach views personality as a binary function. So many studies suggest that the organizations making high-stake decisions on workforce planning and management should use trait-based tools. So the type-based assessment identifies a limited number of types. However, based on the organization's dynamic expectations, the desired behaviors for a certain requirement may be quite diverse. So hence, trait-based assessments allow one to focus on the relevant traits and also to understand individuals' readiness. Personality traits can also be for talent development, to identify areas of strengths and also to improvements and to understand candidates, learning preferences and motivations, and to also encourage them to take proactive and grateful steps towards better performance. Next point is dark personality traits. So in this point, with increasing work pressure and receding patience, workplaces these days provide the perfect environment. So conducive for triggering of dark traits, which tend to threaten the safety of employees, customers, and also the work culture as whole. So the dark personality trait inventory that contains 6 dark traits, that is opportunism, self-obsession, insensitivity, temperamental, impulsiveness, and thrill seeking. Through this personality trace or the diagnostic, we also aim to contribute to a greater goal and also of ensuring safety at workplaces. Next point is motivation, values, and preferences. So in this, we are going to discuss that motivation is a comprehensive test of motivation which gives an understanding of the drives and motivates a person to effectively perform and to excel at work. So the more motivated and engaged your workforce is, the greater your organization's potential for successes. It measures 8 key motivators under 3 major needs. So sustainability needs, that is money and security, and the relatedness needs, that is recognition, affiliation, competition, and the growth need is power, advancement, and the achievement. Next point is cognitive ability. So cognitive ability is defined as a general mental capability involving reasoning, problem solving, planning, and also abstract thinking, complex idea comprehension, and also learning from experiences. So cognitive skills are the essential qualities your brain utilizes to think and also to listen, learn, understand, and question and pay a little more close attention towards each scenarios. So it encompasses many aspects of intellectual functions and processes such as perception, attention, the formation of knowledge, and working memory, judgment, evaluation, reasoning, and also the computation, problem solving, and decision making. So cognitive processes use existing knowledge and discover new knowledge. Cognitive processes are analyzed from different perspectives within different contexts, notably in different fields too. So as a conclusion to this video, I would like to say it goes beyond classifying people based on general demographic data. In this, psychographic seeks to understand the cognitive factors that drive humans. So this includes emotional responses and motivations. So moral, ethical, and political values and inherent attitudes, biases, and prejudices are being involved in this. With that, I conclude my words. Thank you so much.